Welcome, fellow Sagittarians, both the seasoned truth seekers and the curious newcomers into the sacred, slightly chaotic, and always enlightening space that is Zodiac Talks Tarot. If you've ever felt like life is a giant philosophical road trip and your soul is driving a convertible with no map, then yes, this is absolutely your stop. Today, we're diving into something truly aligned with that Sagittarian spirit of freedom, optimism, and occasional spiritual mischief. 6 lucky numbers, divinely timed to activate on June 22, 2025. Now, before you go hunting for your lottery ticket, let's set the record straight. These numbers aren't here to help you beat the odds in Vegas, although if you do win, remember your favorite cosmic narrator. These numbers are more like spiritual coordinates, rooted in Buddhist teachings and planetary alignments, especially curated for your fire sign's hunger for meaning, elevation, and maybe just a sprinkle of drama. This energetic portal, opening under the unique blend of Mercury and Venus, isn't just a celestial event, it's an invitation. Mercury sharpens your mind, Venus softens your heart, and together they create the perfect storm for inner alchemy. These 6 numbers don't shout, they whisper. They're not flashy, but they're potent, offering insights into mindfulness, which, let's be honest, you've probably been meaning to try. Simplicity, an alien concept, we know, and abundance, now you're paying attention. So let this moment be your opening breath. Your invitation to drop the bow and just be. Whether you've been walking the path for years or just wandered in because the thumbnail looked mystical, we welcome you. Light a candle. Pour a cup of tea or something stronger, no judgment, and repeat after me. I am ready to receive with peace and purpose. See? You're already wiser. Probably the Sag rising. Maybe even one of the chosen ones in what many astrologers, and enlightened Uber drivers, are calling the year of triumph 2025. Now let's unpack those numbers. And no, you don't need to meditate in a cave for 40 days to understand them. Just bring your curiosity and your sense of humor. Let's talk about number 12, a number that, on the surface, might seem about as exciting as the socks you forgot you were wearing. But don't be fooled. For Sagittarius, this number holds a secret key, not to the vaults of gold, although that would be nice, but to something far more enduring: connection, courage, and interdependence. Yes, I know interdependence might sound like the opposite of your natural Sagittarian craving for freedom, adventure, and booking one-way flights to places your friends can't pronounce. But hear me out. In Buddhist philosophy, the number 12 represents the 12 links of dependent origination, a chain of cause and effect that reveals how everything, and I mean everything, is interconnected. No action, no thought, no wandering philosophical musing happens in isolation. It's all part of a beautifully complex tapestry of existence. So while you, Sagittarius, might see yourself as a wild stallion galloping freely across the plains of possibility, even stallions need the grass, the sun, and occasionally a wise old turtle to remind them where the water hole is. Number 12 invites you to recognize the power in presence, not volume. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to conquer to be courageous. Think tiger energy, majestic, deliberate, and absolutely not here for your nonsense. A tiger doesn't roar all day, it shows up, does what it came to do, and disappears back into the jungle like a legend. That's the kind of power number 12 is channeling. And here's the spiritual mic drop: light a lamp for someone else, it brightens your own path. That's not just poetic, it's karmic engineering. Generosity doesn't subtract from your life, Sagittarius, it multiplies your light. And who knows? That very act of giving, of recognizing your place in the great cosmic jigsaw puzzle, might just earn you a spot among the chosen ones in this wild, cosmic ride we call the year of triumph 2025. So go ahead, be free. Just don't forget to bring someone along for the ride. Even legends need company. Let's talk about number 48 because, dear Sagittarius, I know your first instinct is to skip ahead to number 6, win the lottery, backpack through Morocco, write a memoir, and still somehow avoid answering your texts. But here's the thing, 48 is your cosmic speed bump, and trust me, that's not a bad thing. In fact, it's your secret weapon for creating something that doesn't just burn bright, but burns long. Now, let's break it down like the overthinking astrologer I am. The number 4 is all about structure, discipline, and building foundations. Not exactly your favorite words, I know. But pair that with 8 karma, abundance, prosperity, and you get a number that's not about the fast win. It's about building a legacy. You want fireworks? Great. But 48 is asking, how about a slow-burning bonfire that lights up the whole village? Sagittarius energy is wired for the thrill of the chase. You want results now, preferably with confetti and applause. But the wisdom of 48 whispers something radical: steady progress will take you farther than any shortcut ever could. And you know you love shortcuts, don't you lie? Think of it this way, you wouldn't chug a fine tea in one gulp, right? Okay, bad example, you might. But you shouldn't. The good stuff unfolds slowly. In Buddhist terms, this is the Dharma of patience, of trust, of laying one brick at a time without obsessing over when the temple will be finished. So stop rebelling against stillness. Sometimes the bravest, most Sagittarian thing you can do is wait. Trust the journey. Trust yourself. Even if the jug fills drop by drop, and yes, that sounds boring, it's still filling. And that's how empires, gardens, and really great lives are built. Number 24. Now this one's like that unexpected moment when your favorite Sagittarius friend, yes, you stops mid-sprint, takes a deep breath, and says, maybe I don't need to book a trip to Nepal to find myself. That's the vibe of 24. It's not flashy. It's not dramatic. But it is powerful, like a monk with a GPS. Let's break it down through the lens of astrology, psychology, and a little Buddhist wisdom, because I didn't spend years studying this stuff just to give you surface-level fortune cookie advice. The number 2? That's your intuition, your emotional radar, your gut feeling when something just clicks. And 4? That's discipline, structure, the part of you that actually sets the alarm for meditation, and maybe even follows through. Together, 2 and 4 don't just tell you to dream, they tell you how to live the dream, in full alignment with your inner truth. Sagittarius, you're a wanderer by nature. Your mind is always off chasing the next big idea, the next thrill, the next philosophical TED Talk. But number 24 gently, and I mean gently, like a rabbit nibbling a carrot, invites you to come home to yourself. Think rabbit energy, calm, aware, always ready to move, but never wasting energy. There's a quiet wisdom in that. You don't need to collect more passport stamps or inspirational quotes from mountaintops to feel whole. What you really need is to bring your heart and your mind into the same room for once, preferably before dinner. As the Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. And honestly, he probably wasn't talking about spa retreats or yoga in Bali. He meant the kind of inner peace that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for, even when the world's spinning like a Sagittarius after 3 espresso shots. So, next time you feel like chasing something big, pause and check, is this chase aligned with your soul? If yes, run free. If not, sit your wild self down and just be. Let's talk about number 8, arguably one of the most misunderstood, yet most powerful digits in the cosmic toolbox. Now, if you're a Sagittarius, you probably saw the number and thought, great, infinity. Limitless possibilities. Let's go skydiving into enlightenment. And while yes, number 8 is shaped like the infinity symbol, it's not just about eternal motion, it's about purposeful flow, renewal, and mastery. Think less chaotic rodeo, more wise dragon doing Tai Chi in the mountains. In both astrology and Buddhist philosophy, the number 8 holds serious spiritual weight. In the Zodiac, it echoes the cycle of transformation, the dying of the old and the rising of the new. In Buddhism, it's the core of the Noble Eightfold Path, a practical, step-by-step guide to inner peace and spiritual liberation. It's not just about winning at life, it's about living with wisdom, integrity, and presence. Now here's where things get Sagittarian. You love a challenge, so here's one tailored just for your fire sign soul. 8 minutes of silence. Yes, silence. You can't tweet your way to nirvana. 8 kind acts. They don't have to be epic. Helping someone carry groceries counts, so does not correcting someone's grammar for once. 8 bold intentions. Not vague hopes. We're talking real, focused, shoot your arrow at the moon kind of intentions. Number 8 is dragon energy, and no, not the messy, fire-breathing kind that hoards gold and trust issues. This is ancient dragon wisdom. The kind that moves with grace, watches with awareness, and acts with purpose. It doesn't react, it responds. And that's your invitation. In the year of triumph 2025, the true chosen ones won't be the loudest or the flashiest. They'll be the ones who know when to roar and when to reflect. So take that fiery Sag spark, and channel it. Flow with it. Let it renew you from the inside out, because sometimes the most powerful move is the one you make in stillness. Number 18. Now this is a Sagittarius kind of number. It's chaotic, creative, curious, and just a little bit rebellious. In fact, if the Zodiac had a class clown who also secretly wrote poetry under moonlight, it would be you. And 18? That's the divine permission slip to let your wild brain roam free, but with purpose. Let's decode it. The number 1 stands for new beginnings, forging ahead into the unknown, your favorite place to be, right? Add an 8 to the mix and now you've got karmic momentum, the flow of action and consequence, spinning with the energy of abundance. Together, 1 and 8 create a dynamic spark, creative fire mixed with universal rhythm. Translation? You're not just chasing butterflies, you're redesigning a garden that attracts them. In Buddhist psychology, there's a term we love, monkey mind. It describes the mental chatter, the constant swinging from thought to thought, something Sagittarius knows all too well. But here's the twist, you don't need to silence the monkey. That's like telling a sag to stop dreaming. It's unnatural and honestly a little rude. Instead, you give it a playground. Try this, set aside just 18 minutes a day, no distractions, no productive goals, just time to be creatively messy. Journal your weirdest dreams, yes, even the one with the talking goat, doodle random shapes that mean nothing and everything, or lie on your back and imagine what your future self might be doing in a parallel universe. This isn't about results, it's about releasing the pressure valve on your brilliant, buzzing mind. Here's the truth, your curiosity is your superpower. You don't need to tame your thoughts, you need to trust them. So instead of criticizing your mind for being too busy, celebrate it for being endlessly alive. Because when you stop trying to be normal and start honoring your inner weirdo, that's when the real magic starts. And who knows? That magic just might be the key to everything in this year of triumph 2025. Number 36, my dear Sagittarius, is what I like to call your soul's permission slip, not to run wild, but to run true. You see, while you're often known for chasing sunsets, climbing metaphorical mountains, and dodging anything that smells remotely like routine, 36 isn't here to trap you. It's here to liberate you on your terms, but with depth. Let's decode it. The number 3 represents creativity, joy, and expression, basically, your natural state when someone hands you a passport and no agenda. Meanwhile, the number 6 brings in compassion, balance, and harmony, which, let's be honest, is the part you sometimes forget while chasing your next existential breakthrough. Together, 36 becomes the anthem of authentic freedom, not the kind that's loud and rebellious, but the kind that hums with purpose and inner truth. Now, Buddhism gently reminds us, with the patience of a monk watching paint dry, you yourself must strive. The Buddhas only point the way. That means no one's handing you a blueprint for happiness. There's no one-size-fits-all enlightenment kit. Freedom doesn't mean doing whatever you want, it means doing what aligns with who you truly are, underneath all the opinions, the expectations, and the 12 open browser tabs in your brain. And here's the funny part, most people think freedom means running away. But for Sagittarius, the real adventure begins when you stop escaping and start owning your story. When you grab that metaphorical pen, probably a quirky fountain pen from a bookstore in Lisbon, and write your truth with bold strokes of courage. So don't just chase freedom. Define it. Live it. Embody it. That's the magic of 36. And if anyone asks what you're doing with your life, just smile and say, I'm busy being free with heart. If you've made it this far, Sagittarius, then congratulations, you've done something rare for your sign, you stayed. And that tells me one very important thing, this message wasn't just a fun cosmic detour. It resonated. It landed. Somewhere deep in that wildly adventurous spirit of yours, something stirred. Maybe it was the wisdom. Maybe it was the numbers. Or maybe it was just the idea that the universe still has secrets meant just for you. Whatever it was, I'm glad you're here. Now, whether you're brand new to this cosmic corner of the internet or you've been riding shotgun on this journey for a while, we want to hear from you. Let us know where you stand by dropping a comment. If you're still figuring things out, still hungry for answers, and maybe a little kombucha, just say, I am a seeker. If you've been walking this path for a while, messy, magical, unpredictable, and you're still showing up, then proudly type, I walk the path. And yes, we do read the comments. Usually while burning sage, sipping tea, and wondering if Mercury is up to something again. Now, before we wrap this up with a big Sagittarian bow, let's talk about something you don't often associate with richness: generosity. Because even though your attention span may bounce like a cosmic pinball machine, your heart? It's golden. You're a giver by nature when you're not distracted by your fifth passion project or falling in love with a city you just Googled. So here's why generosity actually makes you richer. 1. It enhances gratitude and perspective. Giving shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already here. Suddenly, you realize you're not as empty as you thought. You're just overflowing in other ways. 2. It attracts abundance. When you give freely, you're telling the universe, I trust. I receive. And in this year of triumph 2025, trust me, that's your spiritual golden ticket. 3. It builds stronger relationships. Sure, you might forget to text back. But generosity builds bridges, real ones. Between souls, not just screens. 4. It boosts mental and physical health. Science says generosity releases dopamine. Buddhism says it cultivates compassion. I say it's vitamin joy. Side effects may include laughter, warmth, and spontaneous high fives from strangers. 5. It triggers the law of reciprocity. What you put out into the world comes back amplified. Give without expectation, and the return is often beyond imagination. Like Daniel the mechanic, who once fixed a stranger's car for free and ended up with a community that rebuilt his business from scratch. Karma's like that. She's quiet, but she's watching. Final thought. These 6 numbers weren't predictions. They were invitations. Portals. Cosmic winks. Each one nudging you to explore not the next exotic city but the terrain within. Because Sagittarius, your greatest adventure is not just out there, it's in here. So go on, live with mindset, magic, and a moral compass that points to your truth. Let generosity be your secret weapon. Let curiosity be your compass. And if you believe, even just a little, that generosity builds trust, then leave us a comment. Claim your place among the chosen ones in this wild and wonderful year of triumph 2025. And hey, if you enjoyed this journey, show the love. Like the video. Share it with your fellow wanderers. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel Zodiac Talks Tarot. We've got plenty more cosmic breadcrumbs to follow. And as always, Sagittarius, go light the world up. Your way. Sag style.